Now we move to the first fight on the main card in the UFC's middleweight division. You've got a battle between the, what I like to call him, in the Sanford MMA killer and UFC newcomer, 2-0 in the promotion, two back-to-back knockouts in Chris the Action Man Curtis, who comes into the fight with a record of 28 victories and 8 losses in professional mixed martial arts, going up against one of the most decorated Brazilian jiu-jitsu artists in mixed martial arts and on the planet today, in Rodolfo, the black belt hunter, Vieira, who comes into the fight with a record of 8 victories and 1 defeat. Now, Chris Curtis is, I call him the Sanford MMA killer because he won 2 fights that a lot of people believed he had no business in winning. He trains out of Extreme Couture with Coach Eric Nixick. Sean Strickland's in his corner all the time. Um, we love Eric Nixick on this podcast. He's been on here a couple times, and I always appreciate Coach Eric Nixick. Shout out to Coach Eric Nixick. Actually, we got to give him a little shout out here. But we call him the Sanford MMA killer because he beat 2 of the best guys out of that gym in Phil Hawes in his UFC debut. Hawes was beating him up. He was landing the right body kick. He was landing the 1-2. He was landing the left hook into the right body kick, the knees up the middle. The 1-2, the 3-2, he was piecing him up on the feet. And Chris Curtis likes to use that Philly shell kind of style of high guard, where he blocks with the shoulder and then comes up with the high guard on the opposite side. And that's usually very good at avoiding the hooks. But a lot of the time in MMA, it's harder to avoid the straight shots. So the jabs were working very well against that Philly shell. The body shots were working decent in the right hand. So every time Phil Hawes was mixing up his combos, whenever he would switch from looping punches to straight punches, it was kind of penetrating that Philly shell. But the problem is Chris Curtis is good at rolling with shots. He's good at catching shots on his guard, using that Philly shell type of style. He's good at moving. He's good at timing you, cutting you off if you're orthodox. Right hook, left to uppercut to the body. Right hook, straight left. Right hook, left overhand, roll underneath. And he was noticing that Phil Hawes was getting so confident that he was like landing good combinations, but then he was kind of rushing forward and reaching with his hands, whether it was to try to tie up Chris Curtis, whether it was to try to land a straight left down the middle. He was kind of reaching forward, moving in with his head. Could have been to shoot a takedown. It could have been to close the distance and get to the clinch. But Chris Curtis was figuring that out. He was landing the jab, the left uppercut to the body, the right hook, the left uppercut to the body. But then he finally just timed it. Boom! Landed a left overhand as Phil Hawes closed the distance. Rolled underneath it to avoid any potential counter shots. And you could see Phil Hawes stumbling around. Boom, he jumps on him again. He didn't even have to jump on him. He landed that combo. He jumped on him, landed a little brief combo. Phil Hawes went down. Chris Curtis jumped on him and finished him in the first round after, like I said, he was getting pieced up. Phil Hawes looked good in that fight. Basically looked like the Duran Win fight, but not that dominant, but he was on his way to kind of having a performance just like that in the fight against the Action Man. But the Action Man put him to sleep and showed that, they don't call him the Action Man for no reason. And then he goes in and he fights Brendan All-In Allen, another fight which people heavily counted him out, thought he was going to get taken down, thought he was going to get out-grappled. Brendan Allen did find a way to take his back, jump on his back, almost submits him, or looks to set up a rear naked choke. Chris Curtis gets out of it. They're on the feet. Again, Brendan Allen just jab, right body kick, trying to work. But, Chris Curtis looked better in the fight against Brendan Allen. He was landing more combos. He was landing the right jab, the right hook to the straight left, the right hook to the straight left to the body, straight left to the body, right hook up top, straight left to the body, double jab, straight left, jab, left to the body, right hook, straight left to the body. The combinations were working very well, and he was finding his way to get that outside foot, which in turn sets up your target for your power shot, but allows you to avoid the angle that the opponent needs to get that power shot off, because he would have to get the outside foot on you. We've talked about the outside foot battle a lot on this podcast, and it's kind of the same thing. Chris Curtis comes in and I think he landed a right hook, a left uppercut to the body, and then a right hook up top to the head. Let me check that out, actually. I'd like to pull that up if I can. Let's see. Give me 1 second. Chris Curtis. Let's see. Do we have it on here? The Phil Hawes knockout, but not. Let's see. Yeah, I think it is right here. All right. Just give me a second, guys. Sorry. I got to add, of course. That's how YouTube likes to work. But it's about to end, and then we can find the combination. Let's see. Yeah, so it was a left to the body. Let's see. A right hook, a left uppercut to the body, and a right hook. And then Brendan Allen tried to come back with his own right hook, but Chris Curtis got there first. It was lead versus rear. Right hook, left uppercut to the body, boom, right hook on the chin. You see Allen kind of wobble. He goes all over the place. And then that's when Curtis jumps on him. Right hook, left straight, right knee up the middle, and then gets in the clinch. Boom, boom, knees up the middle. He just poured it on and he put him out in the first round. Again, Chris Curtis, back-to-back first-round finishes, back-to-back wins over two of the top guys out of Sanford MMA. And, I think he's on the trajectory here against Rodolfo, the black belt Vieira. Now you look at Rodolfo Vieira. Vieira is a highly decorated Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. He's a multiple-time Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world champion. And if Rodolfo Vieira finds a way to take the back of Chris Curtis, to take him down, to use those inside and outside trips, to work from the top position, he's going to submit Chris Curtis. But the thing is, dude, Chris Curtis has 8 losses in his career, 28-8. He's only been submitted once out of those 8 losses, but he's never gone against a grappler who's as high caliber as a Rodolfo Vieira. The problem is his striking has gotten better. I will say that. His striking has gotten better, but he's still not comfortable on the feet. He's very good with the jab, very good with the right hand. He's got a very solid jab. You saw it showcased in his last fight against Dustin Stoltzfus. He can pop the jab. It's pretty straight. There's not really a ton of wind up on it. It's quick, it's concise, it's precise. He's got the ability to use that jab. But against a striker the caliber of a Chris Curtis, who's going to look to get that outside foot against the orthodox fighter, the right hook, straight left, the jab into the right hook, into the straight left, the left uppercut to the body, right hook, straight left. I think he's going to have Rodolfo shooting for his life here. And Rodolfo is not comfortable on the feet. He was a little bit comfortable against Stoltzfus, but Stoltzfus is, again, another Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu artist. He's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. He's known for his grappling. He's not known for his striking. So Rodolfo felt a little bit more confident to stay on the feet. I don't think he's going to feel the same against a guy like Chris Curtis, who's got knockout power, who's got good technique on the feet, who will kind of lull you into a full sense of security just to be able to find that opening to crack your chin with that overhand left, with the right hook, with the left uppercut. He's going to kind of lull you into a full sense of security, look for his openings, and then bomb away on your chin. And Rodolfo Vieira is so uncomfortable on the feet if he's getting pressured, if he's getting combinations landed on him. Like the fight against Anthony Fluffy Hernandez, he wore himself out in the grappling. He looked better in the fight against Stoltzfus. He did. I can't lie there. He looked good on the feet. Like I said, good jab, good right hand. But you're not going to play that game against Chris Curtis. And yes, I do think that if Chris Curtis gives his back up, it could be a very short night and the black belt hunter could wrap up another opponent in the UFC. I definitely think that's a possibility. But like I said, Chris Curtis has only been submitted one time in his UFC career. 1 loss by KO, 1 by submission, and 6 losses by decision. 28 wins overall, 16 wins coming by way of KO, 1 submission, and 11 decisions. When you look at Rodolfo Vieira, he's 8-1 as a professional mixed martial artist. He's got 7 wins by submission. They don't call him the black belt hunter for no reason. 1 win by knockout, no decisions. He's lost 1 time by submission, and that was to Fluffy Hernandez against a guy who's not a decorated Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu artist, who's not the best Jiu-Jitsu guy in the UFC, but he tired him out, was able to survive the grappling, and then piece him up on the feet with combinations and pressure, have him panic shooting, and then locked up that guillotine choke. It's a guy who's got he's got a very big muscular frame for this division. And if you're able to get the lactic acid in that muscle, and then you're able to add in the pressure, the power, and the combinations that Chris Curtis has on the feet, he's going to have Rodolfo Vieira panic shooting. If Vieira doesn't, shoot in under an overextension of a left hand or a right hook and take the back of Chris Curtis and lock him up with the back control, and or take him down and get to the top position and then allow Chris Curtis to give up his back and then work from there, I don't see this being a successful fight for Rodolfo Vieira. He's good, but he's not going to be able to strike with a guy who's the caliber of Chris Curtis on the feet. And he's also not going to be able. And you know what? Honestly, that Stoltzfus fight might be the worst thing that ever happened to him because he might be a little bit more comfortable and confident in his striking. And he might think that he could stay on the feet for a little bit longer than he needs to against a guy in Chris Curtis, and he's going to get caught with that right hook and get caught with that overhand left. I think Chris Curtis is going to land that overhand on the chin of Vieira, going to wobble him, and then he's going to standing TKO him on the feet. He's going to bum rush him, straight left, right hook, left uppercut, knees up the middle in the clinch, break off, right hook, straight left, left elbow, right elbow. He's going to hurt him on the feet with the overhand and then jump on him and get the TKO. I'm going to go with Chris the Action Man Curtis to defeat Rodolfo Vieira with another first round TKO victory. I think it's going to be Phil Hawes, Brendan Allen, Rodolfo Vieira, all first round finishes for the Action Man in the UFC, and another rising contender coming out of Eric Nixick's Extreme Couture in Las Vegas, Nevada. But I do have the Action Man, Chris Curtis, to defeat the black belt hunter, Rodolfo Vieira, via first round TKO. He's going to be way too much for Rodolfo on the feet. And if Rodolfo wasn't comfortable before, he's definitely not going to be comfortable now.